light. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kirusho here. Now, whenever we last left off, Midoriya had just manifested his shield once again. And he was quite surprised about it. Along with that, his abilities seem to be returning. And he's still trying to think about this. After everything that's happened, him and Mina did go back to the observation deck and decide to talk a bit. Everyone's somewhat just listening in. Things are a bit weird. This guy, he's seemingly just manifesting his powers again. After a couple weeks ago, saying that he didn't have them. Now, with that being said, it's around the end of the day. Everyone would leave and Deku and Mina would leave together. Baku's saying that he's not going to be training with them today because him and Kirishima are going to go hang out. That's all fine and cool. In fact, he's kind of glad Baku is making more friends. Now, with that, Midoriya would have headed home and began to try and bring out more of his abilities. With everything happening, he's able to use his shield at least. His healing powers and everything else seem to be gone. So he's truly starting back from square one. At the USJ, everyone, they are getting on the bus, and Midoriya is trying to summon his shields. He's just working on summoning it, and desummoning it. Actually getting a bit better at it. People watching it take a lot of stamina, or at least tire Midoriya out quite a bit. Aizawa is only permitting him to do this because there might not be any other way for him to bring out those gem traits. Yeah. Along with that, he is also beginning to get a lot stronger. And basically explaining that the other day whenever he was back at Little Homeworld, everyone's somewhat commenting on that. They've always wanted to visit that place because it seems very interesting. What's it like over there? Midoriya just explaining some things. Along with actually saying that whenever he was over there, he did try and work out a bit. He was able to move something that was roughly about 500, 600 pounds, and it was all good. In fact, that just proves that my powers are coming back. Mina just saying that that's perfect, as more people would be talking on the bus. Now, this would be where they would arrive, and things are a bit weird. As soon as they arrive, they are told that they are going to be going through rescue training, and 13 would just explain that people have weird abilities. It's not that uncommon. In fact, your quirks are special. If you got in a UA with them, then that just means that they're either very, very good, you have very good control of them, or they're possibly very dangerous. Even with those dangerous quirks, you can become a very good hero. Endeavor is a perfect example of this. Before she would have been cut off by the portal villain, Kirigiri. And the portal opening and a lot of villains walking through. Everyone actually seeing this. And Midoriya would jump in. Him and Baku immediately would rush in, along with Mina, charging up her version of full howling up to about 15 to 20%, deciding that she needs to hurry. All Might, he was supposed to be here, but for most of his day, and ever since he's gotten his abilities back, he's just been out saving people as much as possible. He would go to attack, getting on the defensive and actually using his staff, immediately smashing into and hitting through quite a lot of villains. this actually surprising them more and more. Midoriya beginning to try and at least use his shields, along with even trying to make his bubble, being able to take down a few villains, until Shigaraki would announce that they need to, well, separate everyone, split them up now. And everyone will be taken out into portals. Midoriya and Mina included, along with Bakugo. They all get teleported to random places, and Deku is falling out of the air, trying to think that this is a perfect time for his slowing down to come back, at least expecting it to, until realizing it's not, and him smashing straight into the water, using his shield to at least try and cushion his fall. Now, this would be whenever he goes to swim, immediately encountering villains and going to throw out his staff, or at least throw out a punch. As soon as that happens though, Sue would come in, kicking directly into the villain and grabbing Midoriya, swimming directly over to the boat and setting him down. As you also do have Kendo over there. And he is kind of confused, taking in a deep breath and just thinking, well, it'll come back eventually. Now, that would be where they all begin to try and plan. The villains, they probably don't know our quirks, do they? Deku just getting up, and saying that that does make a bit of sense. But you're right about that. What makes you say that, Midoriya? As he would just point over towards the fire, saying that if they knew our quirks, they would just put you over there. And if they knew mine, they wouldn't have let me out directly in open water. Him just saying that even in open water, he can still be very dangerous. Now, he would have to think about a plan. That involves getting everyone away from the villains. The villains aren't attacking, so they clearly aren't, well, expecting anything to happen. And Deku would just do one thing. Begin to try and come up with a plan. Him looking at his gem and somewhat looking at it. Seeing his, well, the light didn't move and actually somewhat stabilized for a second. Him using his shield and looking at it again. Now, he begins to try and, well, scheme a bit. He has his shield that's all fine and good, but he also does have another idea. Asking Asui how good are her reflexes. Because if they don't do this right, then it might not work. Her just saying that her reflexes are fairly good. Why is that? Midoriya is explaining that if we can pull this off, then we can get out of here. Kendo asking exactly what does he mean. And Midoriya would just do one thing. Walk over and immediately smash his shield downwards into the railing and just throw it off. Saying that, I need you to hit me as hard as possible. Kendo, do not hold back. Hit the shield, and I should be able to turn it. The force can send me sliding across the water, then Sue can just jump and grab me. You guys can use me like a launch pad and go up into the air, getting us out of here. Also, just asking if that's really a good idea. That thing is durable, yeah, but even back during the Heroes vs. Villains, Baku was able to break it. Deku just saying that Baku's explosions are fairly powerful. In fact, his quirk is made to destroy. That's why he was able to break through my shields. Just trust me, okay? Midoriya getting his footing, and planting himself very, very firmly against the edge, telling her to just hit him. Kendo getting ready, and asking Asui for a bit of a hand here. Getting ready. Asui would be holding her tongue against Kendo's wrist, and as soon as Kendo goes to throw out her hand, Asui just throw her as hard as she can, and send a punch directly into Midoriya's shield, cracking it a bit as Midoriya gets sent flying, being able to turn around and smash his shield directly underneath him, going to slide, as he would just bring his hand up and Asui leap off, holding on to Kendo, grabbing onto Midoriya and just flinging him as hard as she can, up into the air. The force he carried was able to pull her up, meaning that he's relying off of that. I don't remember what force it's called, but he's relying off of it. Anyways, they would have gotten back to shore. And it would be time for Shigaraki. As soon as they get back to shore, Shigaraki would have made his presence known, immediately running at Midoriya, and bringing his hand up. Midoriya turning to look at this and seeing what's about to happen, before remembering what happened to Mr. Aizawa whenever he made physical contact with that guy's quirk. Immediately going to bring his hand up to try and throw out his shields. Instead, he throws up a bubble, sending Shigaraki flying backwards. Midoriya getting back up. Now, this is whenever two people would come back in. You have Mina, as she throws something out of her right hand and then throws something else out of her left hand. In her right hand, she was carrying Kirishima, and she launched him like a missile. Kirishima coming in and smashing directly into the portal villain, before the portal villain would just send him somewhere else. And Bakugo would come in, and immediately just pin the guy to the ground and blast explosions into his neck, against that guard he has, telling him to not move. Now, this is whenever Mina would come in, going to throw a punch directly at Shigaraki and get close to him. Midoriya just shouting as loud as he can to stay away from him. Don't let him touch you. Her not really sure what he means, before he goes running in. Shigaraki, he is looking at her, and he's bringing his hands up, as she's too close to him. He just thinks that he needs to make sure she's okay, that she is fine. Keep her safe, keep her safe. As he runs in, time seemingly slowing down. Everything does. Nothing feels like it's moving. What is happening? As he runs in, directly in front of these two, as he just stares at them for a second and looks down at his hands. Pink. Before realizing he needs to hurry, picking up Mina and moving her backwards, and then sending an uppercut directly into Shigaraki's face. Then looking around, and seeing what's happening. Running over to Mr. Aizawa, and checking to see if he's okay. As soon as he does, he would calm down, and time would seemingly unfreeze. Mina just, stopping for a second, and Shigaraki being sent flying with an uppercut. Kurogiri is somewhat surprised, as Midoriya is standing in front of Mr. Aizawa, him kinda confused. And Midoriya is just telling him that he doesn't know, before he questions it. It's an ability, I'm not sure. But, are you gonna be okay? Aizawa just saying that he should be fine. Just make sure that, as something would happen, a loud scream can be heard. And there's something charging towards Midoriya. Him immediately turning and looking as it brings his hand backwards. Time seemingly freezing once again. Midoriya moving Mr. Aizawa as he runs in and tries to punch the Nomu, sending as many punches as he can into it, trying to overcome its shock absorption. This not working, and time eventually unfreezing. The Nomu absorbing all these punches, and then just sending Midoriya flying, along with Shigaraki. Him actually walking over to see Midoriya and telling him one simple thing. Haven't changed at all, have you, universe? You are just some insolent little child pretending to be heroes. What do? Save the Earth? Yeah, that's fine. But what next? I'm glad you saved it, because I need something to rule over once I take my master's place. Midoriya feeling something in his arm, looking down to see his hand, or at least his forearm, or at the bend of his elbow. Shigaraki is touching it, and beginning to decay the area. Midoriya is somewhat screaming out in pain as he just gets up, and sends a large punch directly into Shigaraki's guts, before saying that he has changed. Now, that would be whenever Shigaraki would just tell him that he really hasn't. Midoriya is just looking down at his hands for a minute. He cannot really feel his left one, but, well, wait. Change. Midoriya coming to a bit of a realization. He hasn't changed at all. He's always been a warrior. He's always been a fighter, and he's always been someone who just wants to defend people. Him coming to this realization. His powers returning, as he would basically shine a large beam of light and float upwards into the air. Shigaraki confused as everyone begins to stare at Midoriya. They can see this light from everywhere across the USJ, as he would be run directly forwards and slam Shigaraki across the face with a shield, sending him flying, running straight for the Nomu, and sending a large punch directly into its guts, creating a small shockwave, and everyone feeling this. Now, after that happens, Midoriya will just be fighting with the Nomu, and try and hold it off. Mina coming in and telling Midoriya to basically get out of the way, him jumping backwards up into the air, and slowing down, as Mina would just throw acid at it, beginning to try and corrode it. This beginning to work, until it regenerates. Midoriya rushing forwards, and meeting the Nomu with a punch, as he does begin to glow pink, and fight with the Nomu with his strength. Shigaraki and Karagiri are actually watching this, and they're kinda confused. Midoriya is looking at the Nomu before he just screams, "Enough!" And the Nomu gets sent flying backwards with a powerful shockwave, as the Nomu would charge back in, and Midoriya would bring his hand up to create his shield. As soon as he creates his shield, the Nomu would punch into it, and begin to throw rapid punches, over and over and over again, trying to get through it, until it finally blasts through it and hits Midoriya directly in his arm. Midoriya actually hurting quite a bit, as he would just throw out his left hand, socking the Nomu across the face, until it does grab his hand, and begin to try and pull it. Midoriya actually just starting to scream. Mina coming in. As soon as she comes in, she would throw 100% into this thing's arm, smashing it. And the Nomu would be, well, surprised. She was able to break its arm as she begins to heavily corrode it in acid. The Nomu not paying attention to her, as its arm would just fall off, and she would grab Midoriya, jumping away. Midoriya, he is injured. Or, he still is feeling injured. The area around his arm is still healing, and whenever he dislocated his other arm, it actually did begin to heal. Well, Mina is asking him if he can, well, if he has his powers back. Him just saying yes, healing her arm with a couple of tears, and then saying that they need to get to Mr. Aizawa. Standing back up, as the Nobu would come back in, going to directly smash into Midoriya, throwing up its arms, Midoriya bringing his hands up and creating a shield, the Nomu sending a punch directly into it, and just barreling into it over and over and over again. Mina just asking what should they do. Midori just saying that he has an idea. Mina confused as he turns around, saying that, well, first off, you're an amazing person. And you're also my best friend. So, as he would give Mina a kiss, surprising her quite a bit, her face turning red before they disappear into a beam of lights. And Mizuku is born once again, immediately turning around as the bubble breaks, jumping over the Nomu's arm and actually grabbing onto it, melting it and beginning to blast fire directly into its face. As they would just run over. They would run away and actually go to Mr. Aizawa, healing him and actually getting him up off the battlefield, asking him if he's going to be okay. Him kinda confused at who this person is, looking to see that they have Midoriya's gem, but Mina's quirk. I'm guessing this is an ability, right? Well, yes, I can explain later. Now, they would just turn back to face off against the Nomu, along with actually trying to think. They took out 13, right? Yes, they did. Her quirk is black hole. If you can go get her back up, then we can probably take this thing down. Right. Were you able to handle it? Well, as he would just rub his eyes, saying that with his quirk, he'll be fine. But for right now, just make sure to protect everyone. Aizawa facing off against the Nomu, while Mizuku would run over to 13, trying to heal her injuries. They are very, very, very bad, but a mixture of her tears and the fountain water helps quite a lot. Now, this would have gotten 13 back up off the ground. However, she doesn't have her hero suit, so she would be quite limited to her abilities. But she'll still be able to make a black hole. Mizuku just picking up 13 and running over, and just charging back into the fight against the Nomu, turning on One for All. As soon as they turn it on, Mina would just say that this is actually pretty interesting. Mizuku, well, these two, are just thinking, as Midori just asks exactly why she's not using this throughout her body. Her asking what he means, as they would send a mighty punch into the Nomu's guts, and their arms would turn pink, making bubble boxing gloves, beginning to actually punch into the Nomu. As Midori would just say that this kinda doesn't feel right. Can I give it a shot? As Mizuku would just jump backwards, bringing their hands up and actually beginning to relax a bit. The way their legs move and the way their body moves, just looking a bit more relaxed. As the electricity would go from covering the top portion of her body to the entire thing, along with actually covering Mizuku's face. Oh yeah, this feels a lot better. Mina feeling a bit stupid. Before Midori would just say that the quirk is tricky, remember? All Might said that he didn't even have this type of difficulty whenever he first got it. The two charging back in, at 50% of One for All, sending a punch directly into the Nomu, as Mizuku would just hold on to it, and ask 13 if she's ready. Her just saying yes, Mizuku grabbing the Nomu and just throwing it upwards in the air as hard as she can. 13 creating a black hole, and the Nomu getting sucked into it, as All Might would have burst through the door at this moment, watching this hero team work. Before the League of Villains has had to retreat. Now, All Might would have run in, and ask exactly, who is this? Or who are you? Since he does see the electricity. Before Mina and Deku do have to defuse. Everyone watching as this, weird hero is actually two of their classmates, Everyone freaking out and actually asking Midoriya what that was, or, well, what they just did. Midoriya just putting his hands up and saying triumphantly that he got his powers back. Now, he would then just explain. That is called fusion. Something the gems can do. What is it? Who here watches conspiracy theories about heroes? A couple people just putting their hands up. Very hesitantly. Deku just saying that if you guys have ever heard of sardonyx, sugalite, and rainbow quartz, along with alexandrite and obsidian, those are the gems, all fused together. Everyone just a bit confused, and wide-eyed. That means that that giant woman is actually just the crystal gems. That's insane. Now, All Might would pull me aside, and want to talk to her about One for All. Now, Mina would just explain that her and Midoriya kind of figured it out after they fused. Her face actually turning a bit red. And thinking about the kiss. Now, this is whenever All Might would just say that is very interesting. But still, the ability to use my power, even as a separate being, that is quite interesting. Before he does ask if she can talk with Midoriya, and asks if he feels anything after this. Before just attending to the hero work. Trying to arrest and make sure all the villains do give up properly. Now, she would go with Midoriya and try and talk with him after they leave. Everyone getting back on the bus and heading back to UA. Trying to talk about what happened. Her going to talk with Midoriya before she does turn to him and ask him a question. What exactly? Why did you just... Before he does it again. Catching her off guard, and her just actually taking control this time. Kissing him. Everyone somewhat just cheering before Aizawa does tell them to break it up. Now, with that being said, I do believe that would be a good place to leave this off of. And, well, for anyone who thinks that I was overpowering Deku, I watched a YouTube video earlier. If you put in how strong is Steven Universe, is the first one to pop up. These are his strengths whenever he was 14. That is very high. These are his strengths in the movie. That was a lot. Apparently, the injector, it is bigger and possibly even heavier than the biggest spaceship in the world, or the biggest space station. I don't exactly remember what he said because he was going very fast. But yeah, he was able to overcome gravity and lift it, being a very, very intense feat, even whenever heavily depowered. And to lowball Midoriya, I gave him that sort of strength with his gem abilities, since he is a fighter, and he does express himself a bit more, so it does make sense to me that he has that mental capability to use that power. Now, I do hope you guys enjoyed.